Have you noticed the emotional toll that being aware and conscientious can have on you? Right now, we are facing so many issues: climate change, plastic pollution in the ocean, pollution other places, habitat destruction, and all of these feelings, all of these problems can make us feel, they can feel like they're massive and complex and they all need immediate attention. And yet, I mean, who among us has disposable income or enough money to just be able to devote our whole lives to saving the planet and making sure we're zero waste in every way and attending to all the little things? What ends up happening then is we feel the tension and the discomfort about the situation. There's the tension between how we want things to be, the guilt that we feel that we're not doing enough, and the desire to do more. And yet the persistent, like haunting feeling of, I need to do more before it's too late. Well, if, and sometimes along with this is the dread of what is happening, what are we doing? This whole collection of emotional distress can be called eco anxiety. Now, I must say, I'm not a counselor or mental health practitioner, and this is a term that I'm using lightly, I guess. So, this persistent feeling of overwhelm, anxiety, discomfort about the current and future state of the planet means that you are experiencing eco anxiety. And as I said, it's not like you can find this in a textbook of social or mental disorders. However, this is a very real feeling that a lot of people are feeling. And while you could use some of the same approaches that you use to deal with anxiety, I think there are special things that you can do as well. And remember, as I said, I'm not a mental health care professional. Who am I? I'm Rachel Stravelli. I have a master's degree in soil science and have worked very closely with the earth for practically my whole life as a scientist, environmental educator, organic grower, and organic gardening coach. Currently, I'm a life and business coach. I help people connect to their inner wisdom, the wisdom within, and also the wisdom of the natural world. When people work with me, they work on stopping judging themselves, criticizing themselves, and wishing that you could make more time, make more of yourself, make more money, or that you could feel better. Instead, we dive into the issue and help you to actually do the thing that you're feeling the angst and the burning desire about. If this is your first time here, I'd love if you could give a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button below. And feel free to reach out to me if you want to tap more into your inner wisdom or address some of those concerns that I talked about. So, I have cared and been deeply connected to the environment for my entire life, which has had its personal ups and downs, because having studied it in school and spent a lot of time outside, I've noticed the changes happening, and and it has been something that I've had to find a way to, how can I keep on believing in hope for the future, acting on what I believe, making an impact towards a goal that seems massive and multifaceted. So today I'm going to share with you 3 ways that you can use to help alleviate your eco anxiety. There are more ways as well, and in another video that I'll link as soon as it's made, there are other ways that I'll go into more depth. But today, just 3, and I believe these are 3 easy practices that you can use to address eco anxiety. So here's the first one. I want you to make a conscious effort to deepen your relationship with Mother Earth. Now, I imagine if you're watching this, you probably already have ways that you go and play outside or relax, ways that you connect with the natural world. Maybe you go hiking, maybe I have a garden plot in a community garden. I hang out in my yard, I go play at the park with my kids. Maybe you go for a walk on the weekends, maybe you take a long bike ride. It could be a canoe or a kayak ride. Maybe you really just like to get in your car and drive along rolling hills and take it all in. All of those things are wonderful. I definitely think still keep on doing what it is that you're doing that feeds you, But what I would like you to try for the next month is explore how you would feel if you make an effort every day, every single day, to engage with nature. And it can be as little as 5 minutes. But here's what I want you to do that might be slightly different than what you have done before. I want you to go out and engage with nature, with the outdoor world, purely with the intention of being an observer and an appreciator. And if you live in an urban environment, it's okay. You could just be looking at the sky. You could be outside on your balcony. It could be as you walk to the bus stop. Wherever it is, there is some type of naturalness that you can engage with. And think of this as like almost like a meditation or a mindful moment with nature. This is going to allow you to tune into the space that you're in and really feel connected and grounded to it. So that's going to help with your eco anxiety. The second thing I want you to do is to address your eco literacy. So many of us, you could show us a list of 10 logos and we could name what the business it is, but could you name 10 different bird species that live in your area or 10 different plant species? How about 3 mushrooms that grow where you live? And you might be thinking, well, I live in New York City or Chicago or London, like there are not mushrooms here. Maybe, but actually, even in these urban environments, in some of the parks, there are things like this. And you know what? This practice of getting to know your natural landscape does not have to take more time. You could do it with the last practice that I talked about, the 5 minutes, and you can incorporate it into it. So what you could start doing is getting in your outside environment, looking around, noticing the things that you notice, the plants or the animals, the flowers, the bees, and finding out, well, what are those living organisms where I live? You can look into what are the native plants in my area? What birds live here? Do they migrate? Do they come back? Are there native lizards? Are there butterflies? Are there frogs? So many of us have essentially become illiterate to the landscapes that we're in. And if you have moved a lot, you might actually be quite disconnected to the physical place where you live. But like as I said before, I could show you 5 business logos, and I'm sure you could be like, oh yeah, that's a whatever. But if I showed you a fern, an evergreen, can you tell me the difference? Or can you tell me a actual type of fern? Some of these things, if we forget who they are and they start to be forgotten, are we really valuing those creatures? So what I want you to take a moment is to become eco-literate, to learn about these creatures, to observe them, to learn about their characteristics, to honor how each of these creatures, whether it's a red-spotted newt or an eastern box turtle or a raven, how are they a unique way of expressing life? And when we connect to these unique creatures that are regional to where we live, it makes whatever way that you decide to engage with being an eco-conscious person with actions, it makes it more real because the level that you decide to take in of engaging, you suddenly can think, well, yeah, those are the trees and the bees and the plants that live where I live. It becomes relevant and it becomes personal. And it's hugely powerful. And you can do this in many ways, and I'll put some links below. Third, I want you to deeply enjoy and relish in your accomplishments, your joys, your relationships. As much as possible, celebrate and honor what you're doing, whether it's related to the earth and caring for its creatures or not. I want you to honor all the contributions that you're making, all the ways that you're accomplishing things in your life, the ways that you're showing up, the ways that you are making yourself proud. And at the same time that you are enhancing and increasing the ways that you celebrate yourself, I want you to look at, how can I cease judgment of myself? How can I minimize criticism, guilt, or blame or shame that I feel towards myself for the things that I'm not doing or the things that you think you should have done better? The care of the planet and the care of ourselves is going to take dedication from most people. it's not actually sustainable if only 5% of the population or 10% of the population is burning ourselves out, trying to do everything while the majority does nothing, or what feels like nothing to those of us who are rinsing out every single-use plastic that ever comes across our way. And so what I'm asking you to do is have gentleness and compassion with yourself. Strive to find balance and happiness and joy in your life, whatever those forms come in. You know, if it's a birthday party, go to it. If it's a celebration for a coworker, go to it. If it's your anniversary, celebrate. The task ahead of us, I believe, is a big job. But if each of us finds ways to maintain our hope, our happiness, our energy towards working in this movement of caring for and protecting the planet, we inspire others, and we keep ourselves motivated, and we keep ourselves healthy. Now, I run an online group program that's all about alleviating eco-anxiety. And we do it through the arts, we do it through more eco-literacy, and we do it through play. And there's a lot, again, of this gentleness and celebration and compassion for yourself. I also work with people one-on-one who are going through transitions and who want to address non-sustainable mindset or non-sustainable lifestyle in a very kind and non-judgmental way. If you are really interested in learning more either about the planet or working one-on-one with a coach, someone who values humanity and the planet, please reach out to me. My website is linked below. If you're interested in learning more about the plants and animals and mushrooms and insects in your region, you can pick up a field guide. Those are really easy to get actually in used bookstores, or through online booksellers, or there are many apps these days, like a plant ID app or a naturalist app. There are groups online. There's a Facebook wild mushroom group that I'm in. There are person-to-person, face-to-face groups that meet. I'm thinking in Asheville, where I used to live, there was a mushroom club. And so they meet once a month and they go mushroom hunting and they learn about mushrooms. And it's a super fun way to engage with these things, meet other people, get to know new organisms, and have a new way of being connected to the place where you are. All right, I would love to hear about your experiences and your thoughts, so please leave a comment below. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. All right, I'm Rachel Stravelli signing off. Bye.